Victoria Winters has returned to the great house at Collinwood, back from her strange and frightening adventure in the past. Now she and all those around her are haunted by the terrible events she witnessed in the year 1795. Events which may change the course of history and forever alter the destinies of all who live at Collinwood. And Barnabas Collins, fearful of what the future may bring, places his destiny in the hands of a stranger.
Did Miss Winters say why she had changed her mind?
Yes, she did. Why do you ask that?
Is there by any chance anyone else?
Yes.
Would his name by any chance be Jeff Clark?
How did you know that?
He works for me.
You?
Yes. He insisted on seeing her, and I warned him to stay away from her.
But he ignored your warning.
Barnabas, if I could do something to make Miss Winters cooperate, change her mind, would you then be willing to cooperate with me?
Well, what would you do?
Never mind, just leave it to me. I know how to handle it.
I don't want you to talk to her.
That won't be necessary, believe me. Oh, this is Mr. Jeff Clark, my assistant. Jeff, this is Mr. Barnabas Collins.
How do you do?
How do you do? Now that I don't want you to worry about another thing, I will be able to help you, believe me, and I will be in touch with you very soon. Good night, Mr. Collins. Good, you've got it. What's the matter?
Nothing.
Oh, Jeff. Don't be so squeamish. Come have a look at it. It's a perfect specimen.
Oh, Mrs. Johnson, I'd like you to take the painting that Miss Winters bought and hang it over the desk in the drawing room.
Oh, I'm afraid I can't do that, Mrs. Stoddard.
Why not?
Because that painting's gone.
Well, then ask Mr. Collins where it is.
Well, but that's impossible, too.
Why?
I was just up cleaning his room, and he's gone, too.
Well, of course he's gone. He's probably gone to the shipyard.
No, I mean his room hasn't been slept in.
Are you sure?
Positive. That's why I was worried. It's not like him to disappear without saying a word.
Oh, now, there's no need to get upset, Mrs. Johnson. I'm sure there's a very simple reason why Mr. Collins didn't sleep in his room. He probably dozed off in the study.
No, I looked in every room. He is not in this house. Mrs. Stoddard, should we call the police?
No, we'll wait. If he doesn't come in this evening, then we'll call.
As you wish.
Do you know where Miss Winters is?
Oh, yes, she went to visit Mr. Barnabas in the hospital.
Oh, well, when she comes back, will you tell her I'd like to speak with her, please?
Of course. Oh, Mrs. Stoddard, I have a favor to ask of you.
Yes?
My son is coming to visit me.
I didn't know you had a son, Mrs. Johnson.
Yes, well, he's quite grown up now. He's been out of the country for a long time. And I wondered if it would be all right if he stayed here while he visited me. I promise he'll be of no trouble to anyone.
Well, of course. You can put him in the room next to yours.
Oh, thank you. Oh, Mr. Barnabas.
Johnson?
Barnabas.
Good afternoon, Elizabeth.
Well, I didn't know you were out of the hospital.
I received a clean bill of health this morning.
Well, I can't get over how quickly you recovered.
Well, the doctor said that my recovery was miraculous. How's everyone at Collinwood?
All right, as far as I know.
As far as you know.
Come into the drawing room. I want to talk to you. That day we visited you at the hospital, did you notice anything unusual in Roger's behavior?
Yes, he did seem exceptionally remote.
I'm worried about him, Barnabas. He hasn't been himself in days.
Do you think something is troubling him?
Yes, and I think it might be something serious.
Why do you say that?
Well, he hasn't been seen since early yesterday evening by anyone, and he didn't sleep in his room last night.
Are you saying that he's disappeared?
I don't know what's happened to him.
Elizabeth, I don't think anything has happened. If he's troubled, I'm confident that he will work it out. Roger always has impressed me as being a man who is very stable.
No, Barnabas, I'm sorry to say that the one thing I question about Roger at this moment is his stability.
Elizabeth, what are you talking about?
He's been acting strangely ever since Vicky brought that painting into the house.
Painting?
Yes. He was immediately fascinated by it, but then it became something more than just fascination. It's as if he were possessed by it. Then he began spending all his time standing in front of the picture, staring at it. And then the other day, a rather frightening thing happened. I came into this room and he didn't know me. His whole personality had changed. He had insisted that he was master of the house, and he kept shouting at me, and at one point, he even accused me of drinking too much. He's convinced that I was Naomi Collins, and he was...
Joshua Collins.
Yes, how did you know?
Why, he would have to be. After all, Naomi and Joshua Collins were married and lived in this house.
Barnabas, what do you think is happening to Roger?
I don't know, Elizabeth. But under the circumstances, I strongly suggest that you have that portrait removed from this house at once.
It has already been removed. It's missing.
Missing? You don't know where it is or who took it?
I know about the painting. I was here in this room last night when Roger took it from the easel and left the house with it. I came downstairs late last night, and Roger was standing there in front of the easel staring at the painting. Mrs. Stoddard, he wasn't himself. He didn't know what he was doing. He said that he was Joshua Collins. When he started to leave the house with the painting, I tried to stop him and talk him back into his senses, but it didn't do any good.
I'll have the grounds searched. If no one finds him, I'll call the police.
Vicky, do you have any idea what is happening to Roger?
None. I only know that it frightens me.
Why should he begin thinking that he's Joshua Collins?
I don't know. Unless... No, that's too impossible.
What?
Joshua Collins was one of the few people who escaped the terror that Angelique inflicted on the family. I was just thinking that perhaps she's trying to finish what she started.
It all sounds too incredible to me.
After what I've been through, nothing seems too incredible.
Well, Vicky, you have been through a terrible ordeal, and I think that you shouldn't let your imagination run away with you.
I've thought of that. But you must understand, it's not My imagination. But my memory that I'm afraid of. If Angelique uses her powers on this family, no one will be spared. It frightens me to think of what happened and what could happen because of it. Barnabas, what is it?
Oh, nothing at all. I was just thinking.
Are you all right?
Yes, I think so.
Well, if you only think so, perhaps you should
No,
see a
it's
doctor.
all right. I'm just feeling a little weak, that's all.
I thought when I saw you in the hospital this morning that they were letting you out too soon.
Well, maybe you're right. Perhaps I should go to see Dr. Lang and have him look at me.
You shouldn't go and see anyone. Now, you let me call Dr. Lang and have him come here.
Oh, no, please, it's all right. I'll get there without any trouble. Please excuse me.
Barnabas, be careful.
I will.
Where's Barnabas?
Oh, he wasn't feeling very well. He went to see Dr. Lang.
Well, he was fine when he came in.
It happened quite suddenly.
Oh, I hope our talk didn't upset him.
I'll get that.
Vicky, what's the matter?
That man! It's impossible.
What are you talking about? What's impossible?
I don't understand. She just opened the doors.
Who are you and what do you want?
My name is Harry Johnson.
Johnson?
Yes, I've come to visit my mother.
Oh, I'm sorry. Vicky, this is Mrs. Johnson's son. She told me she was expecting you to visit. Do you know him from somewhere?
No.
I'm sorry if I startled you. I didn't mean to.
It's all right.
Why did you scream?
Mrs. Stoddard, do you remember I told you when I was in the past that I shot someone?
Yes.
This man, he looks exactly like him. And when I opened the door and saw him, I was
I
terrified.
heard someone scream. Harry, when did you get here?
He just arrived. It was just a case of mistaken identity.
Mistaken identity.
Yes, this lady thought I was someone
Be
else.
quiet,
and she-
Harry. Mrs. Stoddard, what happened?
Now, don't get upset, Mrs. Johnson. I'm sure your son will be glad to explain it to you while I take Vicky upstairs. Come on, Vicky.
Come in here. Now, what did you do?
I didn't do anything.
Then what did you say to her?
Nothing.
Don't tell me nothing. A young lady like Miss Winters doesn't scream for just nothing.
I don't know what's wrong with her.
If there's anything wrong with anyone, it's with you.
Thanks.
Now tell me what happened.
The lady just told you she thought I was someone else.
All right, I'll just wait till Mrs. Stoddard gets down and see if that's what really happened.
Oh, great. Just like the old times, right, Ma? Don't believe anything I say, but believe everybody else.
With your talent for getting into trouble, I usually had no other choice.
Can't you break down a little just once and give me a chance? I told you I've changed.
And I told you, you're on trial here until you prove that to me.
All right, then I'll prove it. Stop worrying about it.
You didn't get off to a very good start.
Will you stop talking about what just happened?
It wouldn't have happened if you'd used your head.
What am I supposed to be, psychic? How am I supposed to know some girl will come to the door, take one look at me, and scream her head off?
Well, you shouldn't have come to that entrance. You should have come around to the back entrance.
All right, I'm sorry. It won't happen again.
I hope it doesn't. I hope you've changed for your good. Because if you should happen to do anything again, if it should just happen that you get, what was that you called that?
Itchy fingers.
Yes. If you should make a mistake like that again, I couldn't help you this time. They'd send you back to prison. And this time they'd throw away the key. Is Miss Vicky all right?
Oh, yes, she was just frightened. It was nothing serious. She'll be fine.
Good.
Did you get your son settled?
Oh, yes. Mrs. Stoddard, I wanted to show you this. Look, it's something that a doctor uses.
I know it is. Where'd you get it?
Well, I found it in your brother's room.
Well, what on earth would he be doing with a thing like this?
I don't know. I've never seen it there before, so I thought I'd show it to you.
Has a name on the back of it. Dr. Eric Lang. Well, that's the doctor who treated Mr. Barnabas.
I had the feeling of being completely helpless, Doctor. That if I didn't get out of that house soon, I would have harmed Vicky.
Well, that would have been a very grave mistake.
Don't you think I realized that? Why do you suppose I came here as soon as I could?
Well, I'm glad you did. I'll arrange an immediate transfusion.
How often are these transfusions going to be necessary, Doctor?
For the time being, at least once a week.
For the time being?
Yes. I hope you're going to give favorable consideration to that offer that I made earlier today.
You mean your willingness to help me and Victoria?
Yes, in return for your cooperation with me.
I will need more time to think about that. And I'll also want to know a great deal more about you and what you have in mind.
What I have in mind for you, quite simply, is the opportunity to free yourself of this curse that has plagued you for so many years.
But you haven't told me how you propose to do that.
Suppose I were to tell you that if you chose, you could have the physical appearance of Jeff Clark. Do you think that is possible?
No.
Well, I know it is. It is possible.
How do you know that?
How I know is irrelevant. Does the idea appeal to you?
Well, I don't know.
Well, don't you think it would help you win Vicky back?
Dr. Lang, I am very grateful for everything you have done. And I find you a most interesting man, but strangely mysterious. You keep hinting about some plan, something revolutionary in nature, but you never come around to being specific about it.
I'm not at liberty to be specific yet.
Then I'm sorry, Doctor, but I cannot, in effect, consign my future to you unless you're willing to be free, to be very open with me.
Barnabas, I will reveal my plan to you soon. Very soon. And you will begin a new life.